She has been sitting like this for over 3 weeks. Underneath her, 3 pale blue-green eggs. She barely moves. She barely needs to. One day old and already calling for food. It cannot see, cannot stand, can barely lift its head. But that call works. The parent hears it and responds every time. Two weeks old and trying to stand up on a platform made of sticks, 40 feet off the ground. You have to admire the confidence, even if the legs are not quite cooperating yet. Five weeks old and it has started doing this every day, standing at the nest edge and flapping as hard as it can. It is not flying anywhere yet. It is just building the muscles it will need to. Nearly 2 months old and still begging from its parents like it did on day 3. The begging call never really changes. What changes is the parent's patience, which does have a limit. Around 90 days, something changes. The parent stops responding. The fish the juvenile needs now have to come from the water, not from its parents. This is how it ends, not dramatically, just quietly. Day 110, and it is somewhere new. A stream it has never seen before. The marsh it hatched above is not the only water in the world, and it is beginning to find that out.
The light has changed. The air is colder. The juvenile stands in the same shallow water.
Day 1. 40. The flight looks right now. Neck folded, legs clean, wings doing what wings are supposed to do. 4.5 months ago, this bird could not hold its own head up. When the marsh freezes, the fish and the heron end up in the same small patch of open water. The juvenile has learned to find these patches. That knowledge is the difference between winter and starvation. A crab is not a fish. The bill works on it differently. The juvenile works this out in real time, on the tidal flat, with no instruction. Adaptability is not something herons learn. It is something they are. "250 days, and the ice is finally going. The juvenile moves back into waters it had not been able to reach since autumn. The marsh is opening up again. So is everything else. "9 months since hatching. Watch the strike now, the neck coil, the release, the angle of the bill. That is not instinct. That is 9 months of trying and failing and trying again until it works every time." Almost 300 days. Same species as the adults nesting in the trees above. Same bill, same eyes, same patience at the water. Just younger, and next spring, the plumes will come. 300 days. Hatched blind and wet in a stick nest. Now standing in its own stretch of marsh, hunting its own fish, defending its own territory. The plumes will come next year, but the heron is already here. Late autumn rain, and the heron is still there. Rain, cold, autumn. None of it changes the equation. There is water, there might be fish, and the heron is patient. That is the whole story. ice breaks, and the heron is there before the thaw is finished. It does not wait to confirm spring has arrived. It goes to the open water the moment the open water exists. First one to the thaw, first one to eat. The pair bills at the nest, the same ritual that reconnects them every spring. They spent the winter apart on different stretches of water. Now they are back at the same nest, billing the same way they have for years. The bond does not need words. The chick that hatched this week will stand over 1 meter tall by autumn. It will hunt this same marsh, perch in these same trees, and one day bring its own chicks to this same colony. It does not know any of this yet. It just knows to open its bill. It does not need us watching. It was here before we arrived at this bank, and it will be here after we leave. The great blue heron and the marsh it walks, patient, ancient, and completely indifferent to the end of our story. It has its own story. It is still going.